Good pandemic morning. I'm in the kitchen and I'm quarantined. I've got time on my hands, and so I have picked a recipe today that is a bit time consuming, but I got time. That's the one thing I've got, it's time. I'm gonna make cast iron English muffins. I've always wanted to do this. It's on my bucket list, and so I'm gonna do it today. I saw one of those little YouTube funny things. It was the what was it? Dude Perfect. That's the name. I'd never heard of them, but y'all have heard of them. The young people have anyway. But in one of their little comedy things they did on YouTube, talking about how they're spending their quarantine. The one guy's out there grilling, and he's talking to his buddy on the phone, and he says, "Oh yeah, you gotta try ribs. It'll take a half a day." And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try cast iron English muffins. It will use up a good half a day. You know, we've got to have purpose as we're going through this quarantine and come up with some way of something that we're doing. But I was studying, this past week, I've been studying in James, and there's a verse there that's just helpful. You know, as we make plans, we're good at making plans. This quarantine has kind of told us, yeah, good luck with all that. God's still in control, and we surrender to that and bow down to that. But the verse in James says, if I can find it, here it is. Boasting about tomorrow. This is from James 4, verse 13. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or do that. That's a good reminder to us that every day that we have is His, and it's a gift to us, and we take it, and whatever we find on that path during that day, we walk it out, and walk it out with joy. Be it trials, you know, in James 1, what verse is it? I think it's verse 2. Count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that God is helping us to be steadfast. It's verse 2. Count it all joy when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And then steadfastness works to produce a faith that is perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So, with that good word under our aprons, we're going to launch in and make cast iron English muffins, if the Lord wills. Oh. This is pretty easy peasy to mix together. I have in my bowl the flour and the salt. Meanwhile, I took milk and water. I heated it in the microwave, brought it out, and when it was at 110 degrees, I added my yeast. I let that proof just a little bit, and then I added honey and melted butter. This liquid is going to go into the flour just to incorporate it, and then once we get that going, and I'll take my spoon and kind of get it together, it will mix for 8 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, you will check it, and if it's too sticky, you need to add a little bit more flour, because ultimately it needs to come away from the sides of the bowl. This is one of America's Test Kitchen's recipes. I love their recipes because they do the work. They test it. You know, if I think there's a best way, I want to do it the best way. And they have looked at it this way, and this way, and this way, and they give you the commentary of why this works. And this was the most efficient way, and you get the best flavor, the best taste. So, I like to know that. Anyway, you can get these recipes off of Instagram. You know, they'll have them on there, and if you grab it that day within 24 hours, you can print it, and you've got the recipe. I've had this for quite a while, and I've been wanting to make it. And I have been challenged by some of you other ladies who are doing the hard thing. Sarah Cole made English muffins, and I was like, I've been wanting to make English muffins, and so she inspired me. And so let's inspire each other and get in the kitchen and do the hard thing. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. I have antibacterialed my counter. That is the buzzword in the pandemic. I've got my dough. It is so pretty. There is something so therapeutic about bread dough. You knead this for about a minute. You can involve your children. Let them work with you. I have actually already kneaded it, so I've got it ready to go. I've got my greased bowl. I'm going to take it, put it in my greased bowl. I love to watch how it grows. It's going to go to be proofed for 1.5 hours, and then we will divide it up into our 12 little sections for our 12 English muffins. Look at this. This is enough to make a baker prideful. It's beautiful. All right, we're going to take this dough and we're going to put it in a log, and we're going to cut it in 12 equal pieces. You'll only know if they're equal if you weigh them. It's not that much trouble, and I've got the time. I've got the time. I have made my little English muffins in 2.1 or 2 ounces each, and I've gotten 14. So you take the individual pieces and you just make them into a little tight, compact ball. You space them about 1.5 inches apart. On your cookie sheet that has sides lined with parchment, you have got cornmeal on the bottom to keep them from sticking, and you're later going to sprinkle that cornmeal on the top to give them that nice English muffin look. These are going to go to be proofed for 45 to 75 minutes. I think they're going to proof pretty quickly. They're already starting to rise, and you want them to be double in bulk. Yikes. I don't want to lose them. And then we're going to be ready to go to the cast iron skillet. Alrighty, I've got a little assembly line going here. We have our cast iron skillet good and hot. Our oven is heated to 350 degrees because we're going to put these English muffins in this skillet, get them brown on both sides, but they're not done through the middle. So after they're brown on both sides, we're going to put them on our prepared cookie sheet that's already in the oven, and when they reach a temperature of 210 in the interior, then we'll know they're done. Okay, we've got our little raised puffed English muffin. You take your metal spatula and mash that down. Everything in me says don't mash something down that has raised, but you want those little traditional air holes that are in an English muffin. So you've mashed that down. You're going to put it in your cast iron skillet. They said do 4 at a time, but I'm just doing 3. I'll turn that over so that I'm getting that cornmeal on both sides, the traditional look of the English muffin. Put that one in. They cook 1 or 2 minutes on either side. It's going pretty fast. I've already got some in the oven. I need to check that internal temperature. Now, while these are rising, you want to keep your spatula handy because they will dome up on you, that yeast, so you will periodically mash them back down, which also helps them to crisp on the bottom. Not really crisp. There's no oil in here. It's a very dry bake. Okay, I'll show you and we'll check the temperature of the ones in the oven. These are not quite 210, but you can see how beautiful they look before she dumps them in the floor. We put 3 more on. They'll go in the oven. Still waiting to reach 210. In the meantime, you take your cast iron skillet and you've got a dry cloth over there and you're going to get these crumbs out because this will burn. All right, I'm bringing the last ones out. You go in the side with your instant thermometer to see if we've got 210 or thereabouts. And I think we're real close. And there you have it. Yeah, we're in good shape. There you have it. What'd you do today? I made 14 English muffins. That's what I did. Aren't they beautiful? I don't know if you can fully see without me dumping them in the floor. But I cannot wait. The only thing that's going to mess these up is if they don't taste good. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let Carl try them later and see what he thinks. And my next devotional might have to be on pride in the kitchen. And there were English muffins.
Okay, who needs a store when you can make these by yourself? You don't even need a store. I thought we might be making a little movie this evening when I seen these nice English muffins. And I'm going to put my little jelly on here.
You got jelly on the table.
I got jelly on the table. I'm going to taste
it. But I've got plenty of time to do laundry. Really? Seriously?
Very good. Excellent. Very good.
Are you surprised?
You don't need to go to the store to get English muffins. You can just make them at home.
English muffins are pretty cheap. Are they good enough to
Well, they're better than store-bought.
I'm anxious to try. Oh, good grief, yes.
They're better, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not better.
Wow. Worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Even worth getting the tablecloth messed up. These are so good.
Very good. Everybody be making these.
This might be supper.
Okay, it could be. Very good. You could eat supper on this. Just a couple of these will do you.
Very good. This is a solid 10.
Pandemic muffins. English muffins. Very good.
Thank you.